right, welcome to another episode of Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
Hello, hello.
What's up, man?
Another fine day in New England, baby.
Another fine day, another week on Only Comics. Appreciate all you guys checking in with some fun stuff to discuss today. Adrian, I think it's in about a week or two. Madam Web's going to be released in the theater. So, are you really excited about that one?
No.
Are you going to go see it?
If I think about it.
Yeah, I'm debating. I don't know. To Chris's point a few weeks ago, I do think that some of these, Sony movies, even though they're bad, they are more fun than some of the MCU. I agree with that. Maybe a fun ride. So I guess if I'm not doing anything that day,
I think I probably wait because Aquaman is now on Amazon for rent or to buy.
Okay,
the second one. So I might check that out.
Check that one out. But we are going to talk some Madam Web today. But first, what we're going to do here on Only Comics is hop into the news segment. But before we do that, subscribe to the Only Comics podcast channel. Go check us out on TikTok and share this with somebody who would appreciate it as much as you do. But so, Adrian, news this week. We talk a lot about Marvel here, right?
Yeah.
In fairness, they're in the news more.
Sure.
They've done more.
Sure.
Their cinematic universe has been way more successful. And we've established this before. The X-Men and the Avengers would kick the shit out of the Justice League, just on their lunch break. Anyway, but I got some DCU news for you today, dude.
All right,
yeah. So, our boy James Gunn, James Gunn, he's now the Chief Jimmy over there at DC. Which we joke a lot here on Only Comics, and actually we've said this before. This podcast started as a joke, so please don't get offended. Or if you do, then just watch another podcast. There's probably some that aren't as offensive. But James Gunn, he had a successful run in the MCU with the Guardians films.
Okay.
Really enjoyed I think the first and the third are probably my favorite. He now shifted over to, the DCU. He did the Suicide Squad movie, which I was not a fan of at all. But now he's at the helm of this whole DCU. He's kind of playing, I guess, the Kevin Feige role over there, right?
Okay.
But he also has written and he's directing the next Superman movie, Superman Legacy, with the Henry Cavill clone and some other folks. Nicholas Hoult is, I believe, confirmed to play Lex Luthor, who looks way more Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg did.
Oh, yeah.
But the news here, dude. So a fan asked James Gunn this a couple weeks back on, I think it was on X or Twitter or whatever. Threads. So the fan question they asked about, why isn't Batman in the new movie? And then his response was because he's not in the script. Basically confirmed that there will be no Batman in Superman Legacy, which I'm a fan of. I don't think he needs Batman yet.
No, they've screwed him in the Flash, so we don't need to see. You just don't know. They're going to resurrect a zombie to play Batman the next time.
Yeah. Who's going to be George Clooney? But this actually, the DCU, this storyline is going to take place in the same universe as the Batman Brave and the Bold, where Batman is established, has the whole Bat family already. But his point is we're not bringing him in yet, which I'm a fan of.
I agree.
Because they did this before, dude. They rushed the shit. That's what happened in the DCU. Yeah. The biggest issue. Outside of Batman killing everyone, the Martha moment, all that great stuff. But, dude, the second, it was technically the first Batman movie was Batman versus Superman, and the Justice League's already there. That was way too quick. So I'm a fan of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thunderbolt. So you remember probably a month ago you had a hidden gem, maybe 2 months back, Sentry, right? And then we had learned about the Thunderbolts movie Marvel's putting together, their version of Suicide Squad,
right?
And they had Steven Yeun casted as Sentry, which we both said that it's kind of odd, doesn't make sense.
Right.
He backed out because he's like, you guys are right, dude. I should go, maybe back to Walking Dead or wherever he came from.
Right.
And they actually casted another individual now, so they confirmed the rumor. He did back out. Louis Pullman. I don't know who he is, but he's from Top Gun Maverick. You're a Top Gun guy, right?
Yeah.
You know who this dude is?
Louis. I don't know the name. I'm sure I know the. You know what? It's probably that guy that saves Maverick at the end from the stealth thing. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I can't recall.
Now, does he look more like Sentry than Steven Yeun?
I gotta look at it. It's more than I've only seen him for the first time. His face.
Yeah.
I gotta look at the whole person, but I tell you what, Steven Yeun was not Sentry.
Right. Exactly. But you were saying, is it more the size too? Like Sentry should be rather big dude, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
Like
he has
Tom
to be
Cruise can't play Sentry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not saying he has to be, like a Henry Cavill kind of size, even though that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because what's that? Yeah, Ethan Roth or whatever plays Superman, kind of a skinny Superman.
Oh, Eli, right? Was it Ethan?
I know his last name was Roth.
Okay.
Somebody's kid.
Yeah.
That was like a one-off. He even played Superman. I actually liked the movie. I mean, the critics hated it, and they Brandon Roth.
Yeah.
They immediately replaced him.
Yep.
But so you got that level of Superman, but it's just I don't know what it is. It's just a look. You don't have to be massive, but you definitely can't be a Steven Yeun.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know if this guy really is giving me Sentry vibes either, dude. His name is, where's my man at? His name is Lewis Pullman, Lewis. But I don't know that he's giving me Sentry vibes, dude. Now this Thunderbolts movie, yeah, no, the more I look at, no, definitely not. More than Steven Yeun, but no. I'm going to go, maybe he should.
Are you kidding me, Bob? No. No, you're
not seeing it either?
I'm not seeing it, dude.
All right. Well, there you have it. So I can predict what's going to happen on thumbs up and thumbs down on this one.
Wow.
All right.
I don't know. They may surprise me.
You never know.
But, yeah, I'm not seeing it.
So
Bob?
far, 0 for 2. And they haven't even shot anything yet. So, The Boys Season 4. So we were talking about The Boys. We're going to get into this today, by the way, the 7. But The Boys Season 4, they're saying it's going to premiere around March, which is, I guess it's pushed back from what some people thought. Now, there's a second season of Invincible. I've not seen this. That's one of the shows you told me about. That premiered already, I believe, right? And I guess they're waiting for that to wrap. And then there's also going to be, this is Amazon Prime. The thing is they have other shows. They have this. They have the Fallout show that's coming out soon. So they're saying that it may actually come out after those. Let's see. Fallout set to run April 12th through May 31st. And the article here says that it probably wouldn't come out to about June, Season 4 of The Boys, which I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't think, like, I love that show, but I don't like when there's so much content out at once. We talked about this a few weeks back, with Chris, how, like, it gets oversaturated.
Right.
I'm good if there's some space in between stuff, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so I'm good with them pushing, because it's done. I'm sure it's going to be great. It also gives me time to rewatch the first 3 seasons, to be straight up. So
right.
Push it back. I'm good with it.
I'm actually. It's like I've been to another universe or something. I'm surprised that we're on Season 4 already. I must have missed something somewhere.
You forgot about 3?
Yeah, I
actually seen it though.
I started watching Gen V.
Yeah.
I don't know if I finished that. I didn't finish that either. It's like it's just kind of weird. And then Invincible.
Bad. I don't know why. I think maybe it was just too much. I think it was just too much shit out at that time. I want to say it came out like we were watching Secret Invasion, and then there was I don't know. I just feel like there was so much out, and that one got lost in the shuffle, dude.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, even Invincible, it's like they stopped like mid on Season 2.
Yeah.
They stopped on this planet and blah blah blah. I mean, it just felt like they stopped it. And I don't know if the season is complete or not, but if they finished it on number 4, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But The Boys Season 4.
Yeah.
That seems like they can push that back a little bit.
Yeah. I'll wait for. I mean, I think it's gonna be great, but I wanted some space in between everything else. And then the last piece of news. This is there was a photo released on Twitter or X of. Of Sydney Sweeney suited up as Spider-Woman in Madam Web, and she's playing, I guess, a Julia Carpenter version, but they're calling her Julia Cornwell in the movie for some reason, because they just like change stuff to change it. Good old Sony,
right?
But anyway, we saw this photo of her hanging upside down in the Spider-Woman suit, and I think it looks pretty spot on, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. What's that garter-looking thing? Is that something hanging from the ceiling? Is that part of the costume? I hope it's not part of the costume.
No, I think that looks like it may be something, helping, like that's bracing her up or something. Maybe. But yeah, I'm with you. I hope it's not a garter.
Oh, maybe this is a behind the scenes kind of a shot?
It is a behind the scenes shot.
Okay, that makes sense then.
So that might be edited out. Let's hope it is, But outside of that, dude, how do you feel about the suit?
I'm I'm used to the old red and yellow one from the Jessica Drake Spider Woman.
Okay.
But I mean, the suit's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, it's trendy. It's what they're doing now. The black, stealthy stealth bomber looking thing. So I mean, it looks cool. I just hope the movie is cool.
Yeah, that one. I don't know, but yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The black. It's like black, red, and is it yellow in it maybe, or red and?
No, it's red. It's mostly red, and then there's like yellow in the middle, I think, or something like that.
Maybe the gloves might be yellow, maybe if I'm thinking about the same one. But that's a cool one too. I don't know that we'll see that because that character's not been announced. There's 2 other Spider-Woman, which we'll get into later. So there you have it for the news. Let's do a little thumbs up, thumbs down on this. So let's go back to the Batman not being in the script for Superman Legacy. Thumbs up, dude. Keep
thumbs
away
up.
for
Yeah,
right
it's too much. I mean, if you start, you're not creative when you start introducing other superheroes because you can't. Whatever you're writing, you feel that is not enough to carry on its own. So you got to bring in another superpower. Yeah, and that's just poor thinking.
And we all know, I mean, we don't want Batman to whip Superman's ass this early. We know it's going to happen anyways because that's what happens,
Right.
So, anyways, Marvel Thunderbolts movie coming up. Stephen Yeun bowed out as Sentry, and now Lewis Pullman, top choice to replace him. And I'm going to go thumbs down on this one.
Thumbs down, Bob? Really? No.
And now this is a rumor, so I think earlier I was talking like it was confirmed, but this is a rumor. But if this rumor is true, I'm going thumbs down. Rumor has it that The Boys Season 4 will be pushed back to June due to Amazon Prime having like 20 some odd other shows they want to put out. I'm giving this a thumbs up. Give me some time to get ready for The Boys. I'm here for it, but thumbs up that they're pushing it back.
Thumbs up. I agree.
And then the Madam Web behind-the-scenes photo of Sydney Sweeney in her Spider-Woman costume. I'm giving that a thumbs up.
Yep, thumbs up. It looks pretty cool.
It does. Next up, Adrian, your segment, Hidden Gem.
Right.
Seems like just yesterday we started these, but here we are with the whole playlist on YouTube if you've not checked out past Hidden Gems. And Adrian's theme is usually characters that, for whatever reason, DC, Marvel just could not nail these characters on screen. Sometimes just characters, Adrian, that have never even attempted to be on screen. So the hidden gem is kind of like, dude, here they are. Why don't you? Know? One of the hidden gems you had a few weeks back was Wonder Man, and now the MCU is making a show.
Yep.
Coincidence? I don't think so. I think it's we know they're trusted sources, Adrian. Right. They're watching right now. And hey, trusted source, if you're watching, dude, subscribe, please. Seriously.
Exactly. You get your buddies.
Yeah, like get your buddies too. We know there's a bunch of y'all watching for, the MCU and the new DCU. Y'all should subscribe as well. Mm-hmm. But and if you were to subscribe, we're gonna give you a little taste of what you get right now with Adrian's Hidden Gem.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So this week's again, it's not one of those people that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Right. I just think that this person, the power set has been seriously underrepresented.
Like neutered?
Right. So in the past, we've talked a lot of shit about this character.
I think I know who it is already.
And this character is, there's no drum roll, but it's the Flash. Now, you've heard us say, we got shirts that we won't even wear. I mean, it's not about the Flash comic book character. I think the Flash is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that, he's not a sidekick, even though he's portrayed even in the comics that way. My beef with the current Flash is the current Flash. This Ezra Miller version of the Flash is, to me, just, it's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face. For all kinds of reasons. But even so, I think they have always underrepresented or misrepresented. I say underrepresented, not misrepresented. Underrepresented the Flash's power. Even though with the Flashpoint, which I love that show, that movie, his power is under
the animated one.
The animated one. Yep. His power was underrated. Now, these are powers that you may or may not know about, but I'm gonna throw them out there, and this is to show how awesome the Flash is, right? Is he as fast as Superman? Yes or no? All that kind of stuff, but we'll get into it. So, the Flash's power. Invisibility. All right, so we know he can, change his molecular structure and phase through objects. But he also can phase his molecular structure, though, so he's out of phase with ambient light. So you just can't even see him. He just literally just stands still and just phases himself out of your sight.
Wow.
Invisibility. Stealing speed. We've seen that he can steal speed from the Speed Force, but he can also steal speed from other speedsters. So if he needs power, and I'll get into that later with his actual speed, where he can draw power from other sources to help increase his power, right? Micro sleeping while running. So this dude, he doesn't need to get a full 8 hours. He can sleep while he's running. He can sleep while he's fighting other people. His mind works so quickly that like a couple seconds to him is like a full hour or a full day's worth of sleep. Speed force field. All right, so we talk about Superman flying around the earth, and and we all know the reason that you can't have airplanes doing sonic booms is because the impact of the sonic boom destroys physical things, right? Or it can interrupt or affect physical things. Well, imagine somebody that can move at the speed of light, right? That would just wreak havoc on the planet, right? Yeah. Well, the speed force field allows the Flash to move through space, not only himself, but anything that he's carrying, any person he's carrying. Well, how can the Flash grab somebody at light speed and move with them without them snapping their necks? Well, it's the Speed Force. The Speed Force protects him, and it protects everything that's around him from the physical forces of nature, right? Stopping time. He can move so fast he can actually stop. That's why I say, I don't know who was it, James Gunn. They show him like when he's moving, everything is flashing. That's incorrect. When he moves, everything stops around him. Yeah. Evading death. Well, Flash, all the Flashes, they have their own version of death. The Death Flash. Well, he can outrun that. So that's how he evades. So the regular Death, I'm assuming in DC Universe, isn't capable of keeping up with the Flash is, so they have their own version of death. Infinite mass punch. So by running at, and we saw that in Flashpoint, kind of with Lex Luthor, right? Yeah. So he starts going around the planet so quick. As he approaches the speed of light or exceeds the speed of light, his mass increases. And as his mass increases, he can deliver a punch that equals to the force of a white dwarf star. Telepathic resistance, the way his mind works, right? He can resist. He's not invulnerable, but he can resist certain telepathic assaults. Body swapping. They discovered. So these guys, so Wally, Kid Flash, Barry Allen, all these other Flash, they all figure out different things and then they share it with each other. But one of them figured out that they could like swap with each other. So Guy Gardner can swap with Barry Allen. Barry can swap with Wally, things like that. Yeah. Right. Speed Force constructs. Well, just like the Green Lantern, well, not probably as detailed, but like the Green Lantern, they can also create constructs out of the Speed Force. Duplicate creation. They can create duplicates of themselves and send those duplicates out like on reconnaissance. And then whatever information those duplicates pick up, when they merge back with the original, they now have that information. Time travel, we've seen that a bunch. Rebooting immunity. So when time gets rebooted, unlike Superman, the Flash, because he can traverse all these different universes, he is immune to that reboot. So in other words, if something gets reset, he's able to retain the memory and experience from those previous engagements. And speed, all right, so it's Superman, Fast, and Flash, not even close. All those little contests, like Barry said, that's just for show, basically. So this dude is so fast. He was on a planet, and so there's this crew. They go around and they find these like superpowered beings, and they challenge them to these contests and stuff. And so they came, and I think they were gonna like destroy the Earth. and Flash was chosen as the one to be in this contest. And the contest was to beat this crew back to Earth, right? The crew was going to teleport, and the Flash had to run.
Okay.
Right? And this dude is so fast. I mean, he can go 23, like trillions of times faster than the speed light. He was able to beat teleportation. That's how wicked. I mean, Superman is fast, but not that fast. So, I mean, that just destroys anything. I mean, that just makes Superman so minuscule compared to this dude. I mean, come on.
Damn.
So anyway,
one that's gonna take out Superman.
Right. It's like another one besides Batman and the Martha thing.
Right.
So I just wanted to, like I said, the Flash isn't a hidden character,
right?
But his powers are just severely underrated. You know, the way I didn't even get into like the way he thinks or how quickly he can think, or his ability to regenerate from injuries and things like that. So he has all of these Speed Force based power sets, and none of that stuff, hardly, well, I won't say none of it, but hardly any of it is portrayed in movies,
right?
Or however, you see some of it, but even his speed is just completely neutered.
Yeah,
I mean, to be able to beat teleportation, to be able to run, what sense does it even make? 23 trillion times faster than the speed of light? Well, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's this week's hidden gem, the Flash. And like I said, I know we talked a lot of shit about him in the past.
Yeah.
He's actually one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Just this Ezra Miller thing has just destroyed the Flash for me.
Damn. Well, there you have it. Ezra Miller, how do you feel about that? I mean, it's really not. That's how it was written. Like it was designed. You can't really blame him. His portrayal was what the director wanted, but unfortunately, it's only the director wanted that. I guess no one else did. Now there's several different Flash, right?
Yep.
Barry Allen. Well, do you have a favorite?
Oh, Barry Allen.
Yeah, his favorite.
Yeah. He to me, he was the original.
Yeah.
The Kid Flash is cool. I said Guy Gardner before. Guy Gardner is Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, yeah.
The guy that looks like Hermes with the hat, you know. So there's different version of, but my favorite is Barry Allen.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's the one I grew up with. That's the one I know most about. Everything else is just, I mean, well, of course you gotta have different versions of the Flash, right?
Right, absolutely. And what did you first find Flash in, like Justice League comic? Where did you first discover Flash?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
It's like
it's always new, kind of.
I don't remember learning how to cook.
Yeah.
I just have been cooking since I was like 8 or 9. Right. I don't know how I picked it up. So he kind of like just was there.
Yeah. It's kind of like Batman. Like I could pretend like, oh, it was this movie, but I just always like, as far as I could remember, I knew Batman was a thing, and I thought he was cool.
Right.
You know? And doing this research, what was the most interesting thing you learned about Flash that you didn't know before?
I didn't know the extent of his speed.
Yeah.
Right? What did it say? 13 trillion times faster than the speed of light. It's called trans-time velocity.
Yeah.
The coolest thing was I knew about the punch. I knew he was strong. I mean, he has to be strong.
Right.
And you know about his his ability to recover from injury and stuff, because he's constantly moving at such speed, his body constantly breaks down, right? Mm-hmm. What I thought was cool was the being able to duplicate himself, send those duplicates out to gather information, and then bring it back.
That was brand new. Like I didn't know all the extent of his powers, but from stuff I've seen, read, I knew at least like some of it, but I never knew that part where he could send, micro versions of himself. That's insane. Yeah.
And that part where he was in that contest and he beat against that teleportation, what he actually did, I don't know if he was somewhere else and they raced to Earth or vice versa. I think it was I think it was on Earth. They raced someplace else because he took the power. Talking about stealing speed.
Yeah.
He took the power from other speedsters and the entire population of Earth. He harnessed that power and able to move that quickly in order to win that contest.
Crazy. Well, dude, another week, another great hidden gem. If you like that as much as I know you did, check out the rest of the hidden gem from the hidden gem playlist on our YouTube channel. But before you do that, like, subscribe to this channel, and then continue with us on this ride. So next up, Adrian, we have, I call this segment a fan favorite. You think that's fair?
Sounds
Agree
good to me.
Disagree? Fan favorite. A lot of fans, they don't agree to disagree. They get upset, and that's okay. Now, I will tell you this. So this segment is really it's like a freestyle segment.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't sit here and, put hours of thought into these. These are things that just kind of come to my mind over the week, Adrian. It's kind of like how Jay-Z said, it's just how I was feeling at the time. That's all, That being said, there may be something I say today that may contradict something I said in the past, possibly. But these are really meant to be rapid fire questions, right? And also conversation starters. A lot of these have created some very fun conversations online for some of us, not fun for others. But that being said, these are some statements that hit me over the last 7 days, Adrian, that I'm going to throw at you rapid fire, and you let me know if you agree or disagree.
All right.
Okay?
Let's go.
Starting with number 1. Madam Web will be better than the Eternals.
Yes, I agree.
Jon Stewart would kick Hal Jordan's ass.
Yes, I agree.
The X-Men would destroy the Seven.
The X-Men I agree.
That one, they're gonna love that one. The Thunderbolts will flop.
I agree.
Batman would beat the devil out of Daredevil.
I agree.
Wow, we're going all 10 for 10. I don't even know if I have 10. I just have a handful. Spider-Man 4 should stay grounded.
Absolutely.
Andrew Garfield should get another solo Spider-Man movie.
I
knew that
disagree.
one was going to get you.
No. I mean, I agree that he should. I mean, he could, but would it be my favorite thing? No.
Yeah, you didn't like the other two.
No.
And last but not least, we talk about Spawn a lot lately. Spawn's cape is cooler than Superman's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that it's pretty much alive.
Yeah, that too. People say, like, do y'all just hate Superman? Because about every week, something negative about Superman hits my mind for some reason. It's Superman's fault.
Right.
It's just a boring character.
Yeah. I mean, Superman is one of those beloved characters.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of grew up with him, Christopher Reeve and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I do like him. I just, every once in a while, let's just see a raw.
Yes.
Like a Superman black. Not a black Superman.
Right.
A Superman black. Just all out. Just forget the kryptonite. Forget just be the God that, Lex Luthor likes to say that he is. You know what I'm saying? And just have him somewhere just so he can unleash that raw power. We get sick of seeing that, it's like a Martha moment. Everything is demurred. Everything stops him. It's the kryptonite. It's Lois Lane. It's, I just want to be sad today. Let's move on.
Right. See, there are some opinions, though, that I give here on Agree to Disagree that they are hills that I would die on, and the Martha moment is one of them. That no one's going to convince me that made sense and that was a cool moment. That was beyond, like, I will die on that hill. Right. There's some others, like one we're going to discuss right now, that I don't know that I die on this hill. So a few weeks back, I think it's probably 3-4 weeks now, I had said that the Seven from The Boys, Homelander and his whole crew, they would destroy the Justice League, and it got a lot of feedback online. A lot of people didn't like that. Some people got really upset. It's like they left us like these long videos. This one guy had like a tissue in his nose, and he left like this whole. It actually was pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I surprised he put that much thought into his video. But hey,
not
cool.
The tissue.
Yeah, I appreciate it all, dude. It's all in good fun. But they did not agree with us, and. Now, I don't know where I stand 100% right now. We're going to talk through it like we do here, right? We can be swayed. But I'm going to tell you why I initially had that opinion, okay? It had nothing to do with how powerful everybody was, okay? It has a lot to do with the fact that the Justice League are not really killers, okay? Superman doesn't kill unless, like Chris pointed out a few weeks back, unless you're in Zack Snyder's movie.
Right.
Everyone. I think Spider-Man would kill if Zack Snyder wrote that.
Or the Joker blows up Metropolis, kills your wife, your unborn child, things like that.
Yeah, things like that happen. So, anyway, Superman does not kill. Homelander don't give a fuck. Dude, he will kill you, me, everyone in this place, and then sit down and have some cereal.
Right.
Like nothing happened.
Exactly.
With the blood dripping all over his face. Like, so that was where this thought came from. It's like, dude, when it push came to shove. Now, you could argue that, like, you know, is Homelander's eye, you know, rays, whatever, as strong as Superman's? Probably not, right? Is Homelander physically as strong as Superman?
Well, the Homelander is that version of Superman, pretty much, without the weaknesses. Because right now, the Homelander doesn't have any weaknesses, right? So there's no kryptonite. I mean, Homelander's weakness is probably his ego. You know, you tell him, you know, he's a little boy inside. He'll probably, you know, crumble up somewhere in the corner. But power for power, I think Homelander and Superman are exactly the same. Except that Homelander has no cap whatsoever. He's psychotic. What's the speedster in The Boys?
A-Train.
A-Train. Now, based off of the hidden gem, the Flash, well, we know A-Train is not going to match the Flash.
No, not at all.
Not even close. But first of all, Homelander would wipe out. Just with his eyes, he just wipe out the whole Justice League. Just because he's thinking about it before they even think. Now, if you put power for power, the Justice League would probably defeat the Boys. Right. The other girl that's like a Wonder Woman. Let's assume that her powers are the same. Right. She seems pretty savage, just like Wonder Woman.
Queen Maeve, you're talking. Right. Yep.
So she seems kind of savage. So when Again, I agree with you. When we made those statements, it wasn't about the power set per se.
Correct.
It was about how they would execute. It's almost like, it's exactly like what we said, where Wonder Woman would probably mop the floor with most of the Justice League.
Absolutely.
Because she has been trained to be a warrior. The Boys, they don't care.
Not at all.
They just don't care. You know, so that is what I believe would give them the edge. Power for power, probably not.
Right.
Intent, the Boys would defeat them.
Yeah. Like if they just rolled up on him,
right,
with no warning, you know, dude, Homelander's gonna zap people when they're not even looking. Number one, like it's not gonna be a hey, let's square up and have a fair fight here.
Right.
It's gonna be there's those guys over there. Watch me zap this dude's freaking head off. Watch, bam.
Right. Homelander, you pair it with Superman. A-Train, you pair it with the Flash. It's not gonna happen like that.
Not at all. Not at all. So, but I mean, I agree. Power for power. I believe that the Justice League, if it was, you know, straight up, we're squaring up one-on-one. We know they're coming. We can anticipate this. I would give the edge to the Justice League.
Right.
But, again, Superman ain't going to kill nobody.
And then, you know, not only – well, first of all, Homelander, he doesn't even have to square with Superman. He just throw a kryptonite rock over in his direction. Superman's gone, right? Then he can concentrate on the rest of the Justice League himself.
If Lex Luthor, if Batman, if Poison Ivy, all these people can get their hands on kryptonite – you mean to tell me Vought International ain't gonna find some damn kryptonite, dude? They made their own Superman.
Exactly.
They'll freaking engineer their own damn kryptonite. That's a wrap. Superman's out. Now what are you gonna do? I don't know. I think I'm going back on the other side, dude. I think I'm going, you know, the 7 for the win, dude.
Yeah. All right. No, I definitely agree that the 7 would defeat the Justice League. Again, it's intent. They have so many crippling weaknesses. You know, Superman would, you know, his mom and the dog and, you know, kryptonite and all that stuff. All you gotta do is
go, if someone yells Martha, it's a wrap. There you go.
Batman and Superman would stop wondering which of their parents they're talking about, and then that's an opportunity right there for somebody, you know, A-Train to just run through both of them.
Absolutely.
Come on.
There you go. So, you know what? I'm back on the other side. Dude, with intent, the 7 would destroy the Justice League. As soon as someone yells Martha, it's a wrap, dude. Game over. But I mean, all jokes. It's a fun conversation.
Sure.
You know, and again, I go back to if power for power, Justice League overpowers them. But because of how psychotic the 7 is, I mean, they would fight to the death. Like they would either kill themselves trying or kill the Justice League. Right. You know. But there you have it. So you may not agree with this, but you asked for this, so here it is.
Right. Didn't A-Train in one of the shows drag some guy down the street until his body deteriorated?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, dude.
Enough said.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do when that's happening to you? You know, Green Lantern,
Right.
like knock the little ring off, tie his legs up, and drag him around the city.
Well, first of all, A-Train could just swipe because everybody's done it. I mean, Batman has done it. Just Superman has done it. Just take the ring off his finger.
Right.
Green Lantern's already gone. He's gone.
Damn. I don't know, man. It's it would be fun to see though. I'll tell you what, if Zack Snyder wrote this comic though, Justice League would kill him because they kill everyone in those movies. So depends on. Now the real answer is, like, all jokes aside, it depends on the writer. I mean, it really depends on the writer.
Because this is, as one of our viewers, said, this is all made up, right?
Yeah, no shit. Fine. It is. That's right. Forgot. But there you have it. So are you staying on the boy? So we'll go back in time. We're on Agree to Disagree again, and I say the 7 from the boys would destroy the Justice League.
Agree.
Wow. There you have it. Do I agree? Yeah, I agree. Fuck it, why not? All right. Dude, so last week we talked about a independent comic that we received in the mail from some friends of ours in UK. Well, we don't know these individuals. They reached out to us, asked if we'd review it. It's this comic Extraman here by Kindred Comics over from the UK. Jermaine Riley and Glenn Murphy are the creators. Okay. I read this. You read this?
I read that.
And now, first, before I even give any feedback on it, like, you asked for feedback, so I'm going to give you my 100% straight up feedback. I'm going to treat this like it was a Marvel comic, okay? But before I say that, first of all, kudos to you two for putting together an independent comic. Like, that's awesome.
Right.
I'd love to see more of this. It's funny, a comment someone had a few weeks ago was like, who's the third guy? How does he connect? He's an independent comic artist that, friend of the show, pops in and out. But one of the things I love about what he does is he makes his own comics. Right. And they're cool. And he's passionate about it. So just seeing this, number one, dude, awesome job. Like, putting something together, believing in this story, this character, that's great. So the fact that you guys are reaching out and trying to get reviews and pushing this, and I saw some stuff on your website about a release party. Awesome job. Now, so feedback on the comic. You read this, right?
Yep.
Did you enjoy it?
Enjoy is probably a strong word.
Okay.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought the concept was cool, but I'm an old head, so this reminds me of a TV show back in the day. So I was kind of reminiscent of that.
Okay.
I like the storyline. I like the tech in it. I would say if I were to compare it to something I've seen, I would put it at maybe an Aquaman level.
Okay.
Not at the Marvels or God forbid, the Eternals.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's not at that level. But I would say like an Aquaman level.
Okay.
Entertaining. I like the flow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information, but I like the way they presented it.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't help but I just kept being reminded of this TV show. What is Mantis?
Okay.
From back in the day.
Yeah. Never seen it.
And it was pretty much kind of like the same thing. We'll discuss it.
Okay. Yeah, now I've never seen Mantis, but that is something that I agree about, the fact that it's just reminded me of a lot of other things. There was a lot of like common superhero tropes in this, right? Like, we have the commissioner who is, kind of working with him, kind of not. We have, guy who gets injured, then suit, keeps him together. Feels a little bit like Cyborg. Feels a little bit like RoboCop in a way, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's kind of against the cops, kind of isn't. Almost Batman. He's a vigilante. Right. It's Batman-esque. Like, it kind of feels like a cookie cutter. Let's take all these superhero things that worked, put them together, and here you go. Not necessarily a bad thing, but these are our personal. I gravitate more towards the more grounded comics, the more adult-ish comics, and but I agree. I like the presentation. I think now this is gonna stay with me here. I'm not a huge fan of the art style,
right?
But I do like the artwork. Like, great artists.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The style for me doesn't fit the tone of the story, if that makes sense. We're dealing with a guy who was paralyzed due to police brutality. And I mean, that's first of all, I love you guys including that in the story. Like, real, current event stuff that really happens. Like, that's one of my favorite things about X-Men comics is they're really analogous to the whole civil rights movement, the early ones. You know, so I like that aspect being brought into this. I just feel like with that material, I would have liked more of an adult style of art. If that makes, this feels like very like Teen Titans Go type of art, like very kid-like, kid-friendly.
Right.
Not a bad thing, but
not enough to me. It's not enough shading, not enough gradients, things like that from the art perspective. I see a lot of stereotypical stuff in there, like, you know, the wife is like a thick black woman.
Yep.
And most of the shots are showing her body, kind of a thing. Despite all that, like you said, you know, a lot of people can't even get to this point where they produced something.
Absolutely.
So, you know, definitely kudos for them going through it.
Yep.
But for me, okay, so like the TV show, The Mantis. I forget, I think it was the 80s. So basically you have this doctor, right? And he was paralyzed from a police sniper bullet. So not brutality, but the police nonetheless.
Yeah.
So he's wheelchair bound. And through his, you know, his resources, his money, he's able to create this suit that not only makes him walk, but hey, if I can walk, I can do this other stuff too.
Got it.
So, you know, he's got this this car that can go on the water, also ride on the street. So it was really reminiscent of that. And guys, I you know, what happened in that TV show, I hope you guys aren't assuming people are forgetting that and you're making this off of this, because that would be a tragedy.
Right.
In that same sense, it's almost like you can't make an original superhero these days. It's kind of hard to make an original superhero. Another stereotypical thing is that, you know, there's always a tech wizard in every family.
Right.
You know,
that's very popular right now.
So you know, but I like the alien thing. I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite character is Iron Man. I love all the tech, so I'm glad that's included. But for me, you know, between the two of us, we got, you know, probably a decade or so between our comic book experiences.
Right.
But then together we got probably 30, 40 years of, you know, comic book, you know, exposure. So, but it just so happens that in this particular character, it was just so reminiscent of that 80s or 90s show, whatever it is, Mantis. And so it just took me back to a lot of that. But it was engaging. I actually did go through the whole thing. I didn't put it down and say, oh my God, this is like, you know, too much like this other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to the second one. I just hope they're not following this TV show storyline.
Got it. Yeah. No, I am too. I will say that for me anyways, the ending was somewhat predictable. Once, you know, he went to the call and I seen everyone kind of beat up, I'm like, okay, this is going to end with, you know, either him meeting a villain or like I did see that coming, to be honest. Not a bad thing, because I mean, there's plenty of times you're watching a movie and you can predict the ending. But I like the dynamic with the husband and wife. I thought that was cool. That's something that's a little different, because normally, like, it did give me like Alfred / Jarvis vibes.
Right.
You know, because we had some AI talking a little bit, and then the wife.
Is the AI the child?
I think that's what
it's almost like which is cool.
Yeah,
that's a cool. Like, there's two really cool aspects. Well, three cool things. One, I love the husband-wife dynamic.
Yep.
I love that they started with the alien and that gave them the tech, and they ending with an alien, right? And I love the tech in it, and I'm thinking that the AI is the child that was killed.
It
maybe
seems that way, yeah.
So that's a cool spin. I like that.
Now, I would have liked to see more of the origin, to be honest. Yeah. And I know that, you know, it's hard when you're launching something like this. You want to give the full character, right? It's hard to grab the audience who has no idea who Extraman is and string them along for 3-4 episodes. Right. But it would have been cool because it has such a powerful origin story, maybe to see that through flashbacks. That would have probably been something that would have worked, you know?
I think that what they probably do, and what I would do, is let's tease you. Let's drop all this power set and all these relationships in episode 1, and then we'll flush it out. Yeah. You know, along the way. Now, notice I said flush it out, not drag it along.
Right.
That's two completely different things. So, and that's the way I would do it. Introduce everything, oh my God, this is so amazing. This person has all these things and these relationships and these connections and blah, blah, blah. So now let's flush it out and see, we'll probably see those origins.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm looking forward to the next issue. I do want to find out what happens. I want to see who this. I think it's the Apex they're calling it, the villain who tore up all these birds. It looked like.
That's another. So that kind of reminded me of, and I just watched the show, The Core, like all the birds going crazy because of a magnetic field. It seems like this alien. Now, the character, the superhero, might not be unique, but it seems like the alien is going to be unique in that. It's using the birds to go through the defenses of this building and take out the defenses. So it has some kind of influence on nature to a degree. Yeah. So that seems pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Beyond the stereotypes, but beyond the artwork, and none of it is bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's just that there can be improvements.
Yeah.
And but still, kudos for even launching this thing.
Absolutely.
Anybody that can, birth their child successfully, that is a success in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Because 99% of the people are not going to get what's in their head out of their head. So kudos to that. And I'm definitely looking forward to episode 2.
I'll tell you what I do like about the artwork is I feel like they use the comic panels very uniquely. Like, for example, you see how the background has a whole drawing on it with the panels on top, where a lot of times it's just a white back, and they do that pretty much on every page.
Right.
I actually really like that. I mean, I know it's it's been done in other places, but they did a really good job of that here.
Right.
Just filling the entire page with art and So no, I think it's. I mean, if I were to give this a score, I'd probably give first 7.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, the panel that I liked was, and they kind of led into it, where it's like they saw something. He stepped on something.
The one bird, yeah.
And it was like you didn't even know what it was. It was just a bloody mess on his feet. And it was like, kind of like, oh my God moment. And then they go to this panel, and you're looking at it through the suit.
Yeah.
And I like because of the tech, I like the way they show the capabilities of the tech. It basically scanned the entire room, identified everything in the room, and then it came up to some splatter up on the wall, and it couldn't even identify what that mess was. It identified, the police. So I like that perspective. It's almost like the heads-up display from the first Iron Man when he was flying around. Yep. You actually got to see it from the perspective of the superhero in this. So I love that panel. So that was very cool.
Yeah. No. So all in all, I give it a solid 7.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the next. What about you? What would you get for a score?
My scoring is more effort than the actual product itself. Okay. So I'll go 7.5 on this one.
Yeah.
I'm proud of anybody that's gonna birth their child, birth their dream, get that stuff out of their heads. And it's not a bad comic, and I'm actually looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, no. Hey, great job, Jermaine, Glenn. We don't know y'all yet, but hey, maybe you guys will get on the show. Maybe you want to hop on and join us virtual from the UK and give everyone a rundown of where the ideas came from, why you did this. But I agree with you, Adrian. Anyone that whatever they do, put all this hard work, this vision that comes to life, keep it going. Right. I mean, don't stop. And if this first issue is a success, great. If it's not, keep going. I mean, this is great. It's like we'll do the same for Chris. He's got his first night, which is it will be on sale soon. So I think as soon as it is, I've already read it. I don't know if you've read it yet.
I have.
Yep. We'll review that here. And that's that one's very unique character, very different.
Right.
But anyways, we'll get into that. Maybe in a week or two. But hey, kudos to you guys.
Absolutely.
Keep putting out content. And anyone, hey, independent comics, if you guys want to send some stuff our way, have at it.
Right.
I mean, this is cool because a lot of people, all they focus on are the major distributors, Marvel, DC, which is great. But there is a space for people like this, and there's an audience for this, I believe. So,
and even people that are just artists. I'm not saying send us your artwork.
Yeah.
But you might have people that. And is there such a space where so I want to create a comic book,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to draw. But there are people that know how to draw that don't want to create the comic book. Like there are business owners and then there's employees. Business owners don't want to fry the French fries, and there's people that want to fry the fries but not have the responsibility of the business.
Right.
Is there a space where those people can come together and create something? Maybe it's only comics. I don't know.
It is.
But I mean, whatever you're doing, get it out of your head, because that's that passion. And I think, your purpose on earth is to get that stuff out of your head. And I think, some collaboration would be cool.
Yeah.
But the guys that made this comic book, regardless of what we say here, just keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
That's great. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, you may agree with us. You may appreciate feedback, appreciate the feedback, or you may say these two are idiots and they know what they're talking about, and give me my book back, but you ain't getting it back. But hey, send us the second one. We'll review that one too. But no, so kudos to y'all, and anyone out there creating. I mean, it's like this podcast was that. It was an idea. It was partly a joke, and we decided, well, shit, why don't we do it? And then now we're like, why don't we make a run with it? Why don't we just keep doing it? Why don't we make it big? I mean, it's fun for us. It's fun for y'all most of the time. So anyway. So that's an independent comic. Now for the big boys, Marvel, they got a movie coming out, Adrian, on February 14th. So, about a week or so away here. Madam Web. Now this is Sony, Marvel. This is a 3 Spider-Woman movie. I mean, when you explain to everyone what this movie is, it sounds pretty shitty, to be honest. Like 3 Spider-Women that we've never seen before, kind of mashed up in this 3-hero team up. The villain is someone that I don't know anyone has ever seen before, but or anyone knows who he is, but he wears a black Spider-Man style of suit. It seems to take place in the early 2000s, so I don't know if you knew that, but it takes place in it's funny, it takes place in the same timeline as the Tobey Maguire film, so I don't know if there's a tie back there. But anyways, this movie comes out in a couple weeks. It's starring Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey as Cassandra Webb. She's Madam Webb. Sydney Sweeney as Julia Cornwall, Spider-Woman. And then Celeste O'Connor as Maddie Franklin, also Spider-Woman. A few other, supporting actors here. But this movie, now, I said this a couple weeks ago, dude. I'm like, who's asking for this, Now, someone said had a good response to that. They said, well, who was asking for Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, and those did well. Like, okay, touche, you got a point.
Yeah.
But, this movie, I know we touched on this earlier, but are you at all interested in seeing this?
Not really, but what we do on Only Comics is review stuff.
True.
So I will see it.
Yeah.
And I talk shit about all the. I'll see probably everything. Just because I love comics.
Right.
There are moments in these movies and comics and animation that could be interesting.
Sure.
It could be funny. It could be life altering.
Right.
It could be anything. So I'm down with seeing it.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It just seems like they have this trend where they're smashing a bunch of characters into one movie, and it's kind of nonsensical. Can you not write a movie that stands on the one main character?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no, I wish as a whole we would, go back to some more grounded. I mean, I'm cool with some new origin, different character. Let's go back to basics a little bit. Everything doesn't need to be a 3-hero mashup. And what's funny is it almost looks like they're trying to one up the Marvels almost. Hey, you all had 3 women in your movie. We're gonna have 3 women in ours. Watch this.
Or Woman King, or the Black Panther, the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Besides the fact that I remember Madam Web as being this old lady in a wheelchair, blind or something.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that they're putting it back in. They putting it back in that time because they're making her younger, and then something maybe happens to this older Madam Web.
Yeah, actually, it says right here that they wanted to differ the character's portrayal from the film, which is usually a blind, paralyzed, elderly woman connected to life support and has telepathic abilities. So that's the Madam Web you're used to.
Yes.
Not just some chick who's running around town, having a big Spider-Woman team up.
No, I'm not used to that at
um,
all.
and it also, are they like trying to piggyback? And this is probably what they're doing, because we heard the rumor last week about Sony wanting to go into another multiverse story for the next Spider-Man movie, and Marvel not. Now, it's just a rumor, but it seems like they're so stupid they think that like the No Way Home movie, why it was so successful was because it had 3 Spider-Men, so let's put 3 Spider-Women in this. Like, that's a small part of it.
Right.
It's the history of those characters. It's the build-up to that movie. It's Tom Holland's Spider-Man with his great arc, and it's like it was all those things combined. It wasn't like they just took 3 random people, threw them in Spider-Man outfits, and throw them in a movie. Like, this is a first movie. Right. To your point, let Madam Web have a movie or 2. Let Spider-Woman show up in another thing, and then build to something like this.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, like, we'll go check it out. I mean, whatever. It's 2 hours of our time. Well, 3 when you drive out there. But for the fun of reviewing it for all you people, we will sacrifice our time. But to your point, like, I think the other thing is they've set such a high bar with some of these movies.
Yeah.
That there's movies now that would have been passable in the early 2000s or whatnot, that now we go, what is this bullshit? Because we're used to, I mean, we've seen things like Infinity War, like Endgame, like like Logan, like the Batman, like the Matrix for you, but or the Marvels even,
right?
But I mean, the bar is set so high now that like we want everything to shock and awe, and if it's just like your kind of basic level superhero movie with a couple girls being funny and some power, it's like, oh, really, huh? So I don't know,
but you know what? I have a confession, Mike.
Okay.
I do have a superpower.
Okay.
I have the ability to regenerate my kidneys.
Okay.
And I mean, I must, because every time I go to the movie theaters, they take them because it's so freaking expensive. That's why I'm not going to see Madam Web. I will wait for that to come to Prime as well.
There you go.
Dude, I mean, literally, it costs almost a literal arm and leg to go to the movie theaters these days. It's like $70 for some popcorn and Twizzlers, and
dude, it's to the point where I don't even like. I just know that you're gonna take all my money while I'm here. So just here, like, you want the medium or does it even matter? Like, just give me the large freaking popcorn for $37.
Oh my God.
I'll have that large fountain drink for $14.99. Why not?
Yeah. No, I can't regenerate livers.
No.
So don't come take mine.
Yeah. But well, there you have it. Madam Web coming out in about a week or so. So giddy up for that. And I mean, this year there are so far a lot less than normal movies coming out, or than usual. I mean, sometimes there's been years where there's like a dozen, one every freaking month. There's only about 5 coming out. And we talked a lot about Deadpool 3 last week. There's another movie we touched on, Craven the Hunter. I said this a couple weeks back. Sony has been trying to do these villain films without Spider-Man. And for the most part, I don't think they've worked. Morbius, I've not seen it. You seen that?
I have.
Unfortunately.
It was entertaining.
Okay.
Of course, there were some moments where it's like they took some liberties here.
Yeah.
Which it was like nonsensical.
Got it.
But I mean, it was better than Eternals.
Okay. Wow, Morbius is better than Eternals. And we had the 2 Venom movies, which I say were fun. The second one was worse than the first. Yeah. Still, I wasn't crazy about the Eddie Brock portrayal, but I wasn't disappointed by watching it. I just it was more like what they could have done with this character could have been so much more. You know what I mean? Like, Venom's a savage, and they made him a joke for half the movie. Yeah. But I do think that the Craven movie has the potential to be the one Sony villain Spider-Man-less movie that actually does well and is enjoyable.
I am okay with Spider-Man-less villain movies.
Okay.
Only because I think pretty much all these guys are hidden gems, and they should be introduced alone. Yeah. They should be introduced on their own. And then have, the Spider-Man thing come into play at some point. So I'm cool with it. But it just so happens that Craven is a savage.
Yes.
And the movie looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I said that about Echo too. Now, while I'm not entirely disappointed with Echo,
Yeah.
it did seem like they played the best parts of those movies in the trailer. And as the movie played out, it was like kind of nonsense.
Right.
So.
Right. They should just made a Kingpin show.
Yeah.
But now the Craven movie, Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Craven. He actually played Quicksilver in the MCU. Wanda's little brother, the one who he's killed in Age of Ultron.
Okay.
So he's playing Craven. He's obviously, by just looking at the trailer, you wouldn't even know it was him with the transformation. I think he looks the part.
Sure.
I think it looks great. I believe this is going to be a rated R movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think that is accurate. So that would be cool because, I mean, Craven is a character. And I think that's actually the issue with the Venom movie, to be honest. Venom should be rated R. Venom eats people's heads. Like, that should be a rated R movie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's rated R Craven.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. Calypso will be in this movie. Chameleon, who's Craven's estranged half-brother.
Okay.
He'll be in the movie. And then Foreigner, I don't know who that is. He's a mercenary assassin. You ever heard of Foreigner? This looks like a Punisher-esque guy. And then Rhino.
Nah, he kind of reminds me of somebody else. I'm thinking The Beyonder, which is not The Foreigner.
No.
So, no, I haven't heard of The Foreigner.
It looks like a Punisher knockoff.
Okay.
And then Rhino is going to be in this movie, too. So, let's not the mechanical. This is a Russian criminal who can turn into a human rhino hybrid.
Oh, okay.
So, more comic accurate, I believe. But, yeah, so we'll see how that one does make me nervous, how they're going to portray that on screen, because we've, as you put it, screwed the pooch on the last one.
Wow.
But I do think this movie will be a success, Craven. Success as in, we'll like it, fans will like it. Will it do great at the box? You don't even, who can tell anymore what's going to do well at the box office? But this one, I'm of the Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies. If that makes any sense this year. I'm looking forward to this one more.
Yeah. I wonder if Russell Crowe has just given up on trying to recapture that gladiator moment.
Okay. Well, there you have it, dude. Another awesome week, another great hidden gem. And if you liked what you heard today, hit the subscribe button so you can get more of this. We're here every Monday, 5:30 Eastern time. Subscribe to the TikTok so you can check out all the shorts. And we got some merch coming soon. Maybe,
Maybe.
Okay, like, where are you getting all this from? I don't know. We'll let you know sooner or later. But we appreciate you guys checking us out. Adrian, thanks for coming in.
As always.
All right, we'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.